Hello, my name's Dr. Lucy Hatt. I'm a senior lecturer in Entrepreneurial Education, and I'm here today with Dr. Sola from Hexis Lab, the CEO and founder of Hexis Lab. And we're talking today about the impact of our new postgraduate programs. I'm particularly interested in getting the industry perspective from Dr. Sola. So thanks very much for coming this morning.
Thank you.
You're an organisation specialising in skincare. Can you tell us a bit more about your business and the sector it's part of?
Great. So Hexis Lab is a research and development consultancy. We've been around for about 10 years, started in Newcastle. We have an AI platform for discovery and for formulation of novel ingredients. We test our ingredients in different skin phenotypes, which is quite unique in the industry. And we also work to develop new products and new for our clients.
What does the testing consist of?
So the test requires quite a lot of understanding of how a particular ingredient will react or respond in different skin phenotypes. Quite a lot of cosmetic ingredients are ineffective because they are not used at the right concentrations. So we develop different kind of testing to evaluate the impact and the benefits that a formulation will have on skin. But over and above that, we're interested in different skins, different skin phenotypes to see how we can develop better products for different groups and different minority groups as well.
Why the Northeast? Why did you choose to base your organisation here?
Yes, I graduated in Newcastle in 2000, came to Newcastle in 1996, completed my doctorate degree in 2000, lived in the US for a bit. Newcastle was like home, lots of friends, lots of family connection, got married here. So I decided to come back. It is an exciting place. There are a lot of good universities in the region. Lots of bright students do come here. And being close to the university and the academic network is very, very, we find it very, very useful. It helps us to be more innovative. And it also helps us in building, better businesses. So Northeast is a great place, affordable place, to be and to set up business as well.
Do you find that most of your employees are from this region, or you're attracting them into the region?
Most of them are from the region. There are people that have decided to stay in the region. Mm-hmm. Mostly came in as students and decided to stay, like I did as well.
Yeah.
So the region tend to, attract students that are, interested in staying further, in order to do something within the region.
This is a big question, but because I know a lot's been happening, but how has the industry that you're operating in changed over the years, and how is your organisation responding to that?
There's been a lot of changes in the industry that we saw over the years. Consumers are demanding for better, efficacious products, sustainable products. That makes their personal needs as well. We talk about the global majority that are looking for innovative products that address their specific needs. The way I describe it is that the world needs reformulation. Some of the products that we've got, they are legacy brands that have existed for several decades. It needs to come into a modern age of rethinking the whole formulation space.
That's the holy grail, isn't it? Something that's cheaper, more sustainable, and more efficacious.
Exactly. And good for the planet, and good for the environment, good for business. That is a space that we play. We want to inform the personal care beauty industry about better ways of doing their existing formulation. And there are several thousands of products that need reformulation within the industry.
And from a management perspective, what challenges have you faced as a founder and employer of others in your industry?
So you've got to bring in an entrepreneurial mindset into the industry. You can't focus on silos. You can't focus on just a particular problem. You have to have a wide breadth of understanding as to what is going on with the consumers, what are their aspirations, what are the challenges for the regulators, what do the regulators want, what are the changes that is happening globally. China is creating new regulations all the time in the personal care industry. Japan has got its own regulation. UK is out of the EU, still trying to figure out what is the changes or where the changes going to be in the regulation. So there are lots of challenges, there are lots of demands, there are lots of things that are happening all the time. It's important to stay, on top or abreast of what is happening. So for our team member, we see everybody as a leader that is well informed, well versed in the problems of the industry, and they're able to come in to bring in and contribute, their ideas as to what they think is the best way of solving, problems, that we're trying to solve.
You just started to touch on what you're looking for in new recruits. Can you talk a little bit more about how you decide which ones you take on and which ones you don't?
Yeah, I think for us, it is important that a new recruit comes with an entrepreneurial mindset. I mean, we want them to think like a business owner, not just as an employee. We want them to take ownership of the problems. We want them to be aware of the challenges in the industry. Owning their skills, we want them to be best at whatever it is that they do, but also have a clear visibility, a 360-degree view of what the issues are, what the problems are. For us, that is the most important thing, that every member of the team could understand what every other person does, and they can bring in unique perspective and insight into how to improve the overall strategy and the overall focus on what we're trying to do.
So why do you think graduates should be excited about moving into the sector and perhaps working for a company like yours?
I mean, people care about the way they look. I think it's estimated that we use about 1,000 chemicals on our body a day. By the time you sum up all the things that we put on the hair, the skin, it is important to know that this is an industry that is never going to diminish. It will always grow, always going to grow. There is a need for improving product formulation in the West. There is a desire to improve product formulation in the global South, in the East, in the West. So there is a potential, to grow with an industry, and also there is a lot of problems that needs to be fixed, a lot of problems that needs to be solved. So, a graduate that comes with an entrepreneurial mindset, thinking about, what are the challenges, what are the problems, or aware of the problem themselves, will be able to bring a lot into the sector, into the industry. More than ever before, I will encourage every student to take interest in data science, and have some awareness as to how data is driving decisions, whether strategies or how businesses, are organized. Sometimes I think about Hexis Lab as a data science company, developing R&D services and making new products for the cosmetic industry, because we use AI for understanding what the consumer is actually looking for, because a lot of the time they don't know. You need the data to inform you. We have AI for formulation. We have AI for evaluating the test that we do. And we have AI for, marketing and getting the right message. So more and more, everything that we're doing is driven by data, and a clear understanding of data is going to be the new direction.
I imagine you don't have to do much advertising.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, that's one fortunate thing for us. We've not really done marketing or advertising, since we started. We write a lot of research publications on some of the results of what we do, and we've had so many companies contacted us based on the publications, and we read that. That's really, really interesting.
Yeah, I bet.
And we talk about that. So we publish on controversial topics, not necessarily the most exciting research topics. So we're very selective about what we publish. When we publish, it does generate a lot of attention. We do get a lot of interest from our research publications, no matter how simple they are. It's deliberate in terms of the way.
So you've worked with the school over the past few years. Why do you think your relationship with the university is so important to your organisation?
It's important to engage with the university to connect with students students tend to bring in a unique perspective to problems, and to organizations. They have a different ways of seeing the world, and more I think myself, I'm, getting older, and there are things that I'm missing in my knowledge that I'm not just aware of at all. Interacting with students, I find that really, really helpful, because they have a unique way of seeing the world, and for different generations of students, they bring in different things. So it's important to work with students, it's important to work with the universities. We've done a lot of collaborations with the universities over the years, and not just Newcastle, but other universities in the region as well, and we want to carry on with that.
So I'm interested in the nature of the collaborations that you've, so are they student projects or internships?
Well, all varied. So from student internship to research, joint research collaboration,
Okay.
application, Innovate UK, PSRC, BBSRC. We've done different types of collaboration over the years. Yeah.
Can you tell me about any of those projects specifically?
Well, the last project with Newcastle University Business School, we had a group of undergrad students that were interested in, they chose us for, they decided to choose their, one of their models
Yeah.
requires them to work on the practical problems. So they chose us, after we pitched, in front of the students to work on the problem that we pose. And it was an hypothetical mock-up ideas of what would it take to create a particular brand for a particular demographic. What do you need for the marketing story? What is the marketing strategies? What is a potential pitch, sales pitch? So we got involved with them for a few weeks, to listen to them, to find out what they what they did, what they're doing, and how to support them in their approach. They brought in a lot of their learning into the whole process. They got really excited about it. They, had a lot of discussion with potential, customers, hypothetical customers. They had a lot of calls, lots of feedbacks on the on the brand. So yeah, it was really, really insightful. Project for us. We learned a lot from it, and they brought a lot of new insight, a new perspective that we would not have thought about in developing this particular, brand.
Are you going to make it real?
We're working towards that.
Yeah.
It's not there yet. There's a lot. There's a lot of things that needs to happen to get it into reality. But it was something that wasn't the main thing that we do. It was just an auxiliary project. But they saw the benefit and the value in it, and they were able to, shed more light into it, and it became a lot more exciting for us actually, after their reviews and analysis and their report.
It was catching infectious enthusiasm.
Yes, yeah.
And so, talking about the future of the organisation, where is it heading? What are your future plans for the organisation?
We intend to get bigger, to grow bigger. We going through evaluating through different strategies as to what does that look like, and how do we scale as a business. One of the challenges for the Northeast is there's a lot of startup businesses, but scaling seems to be quite challenging, particularly with the limitation in finance, being based in the region. So we try to unlock that to see what is the best strategy, what is the best way of being able to scale and still retain our presence in the region. Being in the region is not a problem for our clients. For many years, 100% of our turnover came from the North America, and there was no issue, working, remotely with clients that are far away. So we try to work out what is the best strategy, to allow us to scale. So it will be, combination of, continue with our services and also productizing our services as well, which is something we've never really thought we would do when we started. I think more and more developing products based on our services will be one of the key way of growing for us.
So a mixture of consultancy and...
Yes, developing bespoke finished products that people can just, take on.
An incredibly powerful USP. for your
Yeah,
products.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So it just enables you to scale as well, rather than consultancy has a different demand,
Yeah.
and it's quite seasonal,
Yeah.
quite driven by economics and the fluctuations in the stock market. So and we're a lot of the time, vulnerable to that fluctuation. So it would be good to have some kind of stability,
Yeah.
with the business.
Because I guess you might end up competing with your clients.
Not necessarily. I think the way I look at it is that there's so much need, and not a single client can solve all the problems. And actually, the trend that we see again in the industry is that there is a lot more interest in collaboration, even among the passive competitors. They're actually working together behind the scene to lift the standard of the industry. So we don't see any issues in that, and we hope to create a more a neutral ground, for innovation, for new things, for creating, solutions that make sense for the consumer, because it's all about the consumer at the end of the day. If the consumer is happy, then everybody in the industry is happy.
And that sort of collaboration is much more likely to produce sustainable solutions, isn't it? Well, thank you ever so much for the conversation. It's been absolutely fascinating. The organisation sounds perfectly placed for the needs of the world at the moment, and a very exciting industry to be in from a consumer perspective as well. I absolutely agree with you that there's a lot of legacy products out there that have just been formulated in the same way for years and years and years and years, and nobody's really thought about whether we know how to make them better.
Yes.
And quite easy fixes, I would have thought sometimes, that would make a big difference in terms of efficacy and cost and sustainability perspective. So poised at perfect moment for scalability in the Northeast, hopefully.
Thank you.
And we're looking forward to seeing how the business evolves in the future, and really looking forward to continuing our collaboration with your organisation.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
It's a
you.
pleasure. Thanks.